The Jackal was on a business trip, then he found a shocking intrusion. Someone had broken into his secret safe house. Checking the surveillance feed on his phone, he saw his wife walking into the room. She had entered the hidden room he had carefully designed. There were stacks of foreign currency from various countries, passports with different identities. It was obvious that he had secrets. The Jackal's worst fear had come true. It seemed that he could no longer hide his identity as an assassin, but now was not the time to deal with it. He had just assassinated the son of a German prime ministerial candidate. The authorities would be hunting him down any minute. He had to escape. As he sped down the highway, his mind kept spiraling back to his wife. Would she leave him once she knew the truth? Then, he accidentally collided with the truck in front. A furious truck driver jumped out, cursing at him. The last thing the Jackal needed right now was another complication. He immediately apologized and offered extra cash to cover the damages, but the driver wasn't having it. He said that everything should be settled according to the rules and insisted on calling the police. Just then, a police car drove by. The driver flagged them down. The Jackal's heart pounded. He had a gun in the trunk. The officers asked for identification. When they learned he was British, their demeanor changed. News had already spread that the assassin in the recent high-profile murder might be British. The police ordered him to open his trunk. Keeping his expression calm, he complied. But his mind was racing. They riffled through his belongings. He prayed they wouldn't check his bag. Then one officer unzipped it. Inside, there was a gun. The Jackal knew there was no talking his way out of this. Although the Jackal had been very careful, many unexpected events still occurred. He had no choice but to quickly take care of them. Then he wiped his fingerprints off the weapon and forced it into the truck driver's hands, staging the scene to look like a deadly argument gone wrong. It wouldn't fool the police for long, but it would buy him time. He ditched his car in a hidden garage, stripped off the plates, and used acid to erase any trace of his presence. But the biggest challenge wasn't the cops, it was his wife. He arranged to meet her at a hotel. When she arrived, he confessed but not the full truth. He told her he was a corporate spy, that the fake passports were for undercover work, and swore he had never killed anyone. But even that half-truth terrified her, seeing her fear. He reassured her with a promise, one last job, and then he would retire. They would live a peaceful life, far away from all of this. And this wasn't just any job, it was the biggest contract of his career. The target was Charles. Europe's wealthiest man. Charles lived on a private island, guarded by some of the best security in the world. This mission was extremely difficult, even impossible to complete. But the reward was equally extreme, $100 million. For that amount, the Jackal was willing to take the risk. Then he met with the client in person, a rare exception for him. After hearing the details, he demanded half the payment upfront, but the client refused, offering only $20 million as an advance. Not ideal, but still a fortune. The Jackal hesitated, then agreed. Preparation began immediately. The Jackal learned that Charles planned to leave his island in 5 days for a public speech, which was the perfect opportunity to strike. But the security at the venue was extremely strict. Regular metal weapons wouldn't make it past the checkpoints. So, he turned to an old contact, a master gunsmith, after hearing the Jackal's request. The manufacturer suggested using special materials. TO3D print an alloy barrel that could pass through security checks. With their collaboration, they quickly created all the necessary components. After assembling them, he had a short-range sniper rifle. The Jackal was very satisfied with the result. To bypass security checks, he modified the rifle further, making it small enough to hide inside his orthopedic boot. He planned to disguise himself as a disabled person, which would allow him to pass through security and enter the venue undetected.